All right.
Got action.
Let me crank this thing up. All right. What's up, man? It's your boy MoonDog38732 from the MoonDog38732 show on YouTube. Hey, man, watch the show, like the show, subscribe, share, and comment. At the same time, hit me up at the MoonDog38732show.com. I have my merchandise there, got my blog there. If I got videos there, you want to hit me up, do an interview or something, hit me up on there. Also, the MoonDog38732 show podcast with the other host, Tiffany DJ, my homegirl. I'm working on her shirts right now. She already let me know what she's going with, so please support her. She's doing an awesome job, and thank y'all for supporting. But with that being said, tonight we got a very, very, very special guest. Y'all know how we do. I support and I interview these Black-owned companies, putting them out there, creating a network where we can make a conglomerate, you know what I'm saying, and make this thing pop off. Please introduce yourself to the audience and the public.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Christopher Butler Day. I am the founder and CEO of IDECIDE Clothing Apparel, and I am also an author of IDECIDE. The choices that you make today will determine your future tomorrow. IDECIDE, 100 plus words of affirmation from the leader within. And then my most recent book, which is Colorblind, is Being Black in America Too Much. Good evening to everyone.
All right, now, with that being said, as you can see, he getting it popping. He ain't just sitting around resting on his laurels. He got ideas. He got plans. He's actually implementing these plans. He also has a job. So, Chris, tell the people, what do you do as your profession, though?
All right, so the first thing, I'm a teacher. I'm a middle school educational world geography teacher, 6th grade. And when I'm not in school, I'm still in school because I'm a graduate student as well. I'm obtaining my master's degree in educational leadership. So the goal is within the next year or two to get my principal certification and become a school principal.
Okay. All right, here we go. Now, Chris believes in business. He believes in making sure that the next generation or the younger generation also understands the importance of business. But I'm asking this question right here. What is it about supporting our businesses that you think is important? Because, we will support other people's brands. We will advertise other people's stuff. But, I don't do that. I don't even say the other company name on my channel. So tell us why you think it's important that we support our own businesses.
Well, one of the reasons why I feel that we really should support each other's businesses because our culture, our race, we spend the most money. But who do we spend the money on? We spend it on other brands and we spend it on what we think is cool. So we might think the designer brands are cool, so we'll go spend $500, including myself. I'm gonna speak for me too. I've done it before. I've actually done it way too many times, but I also go back and I invest back into my people as well, because the thing is, it doesn't cost a lot of money to support your own people. It's not like we're asking you for $500, $600 for a t-shirt. We only asking for $20, $30 here, maybe $40, maybe even $50. So we'll be quick to go spend the $600, but then we'll tell our people, I got you on the 15th and the 28th when I get paid for a $20 shirt. We tell our people that. So we actually have to change that mindset to, rather than being so quick to go to the mall, pay one of your people $20, support them, because that $20 goes a long way. So it's not necessarily, we don't want the money, we want the support, we want the love, because if we get that, naturally the money is going to generate. Nobody's going to support us or take us serious if our own people don't support us. So that's why it's really important to invest in us, because if other cultures, if they see, okay, man, this guy or this young lady, man, they actually have a product. People are actually buying into their product. Let me see what exactly that product is. So it might be potential investment. people are always looking for something to invest in, but they can't invest in anything if our own people don't even give us a platform for us to be able to put out or to be able for us to sell our product. So that's why it's important.
So you're right. Also, now y'all know the MoonDog38732 show. I always say I support us first. Not only, but first. I'm coming to us first. See if we got it. Sometimes we don't, sometimes we do. Also, when we talk about support, we're talking about like, hey man, they posting something, man, share it. You and share these memes out here that's joking and laughing and stuff like that. But your homeboy or your homegirl or your brother, your sister or cousin, we don't necessarily share their stuff or post it or let anybody know that it's coming up, anything like that. So we got to get more in tune to supporting ourselves if we want other people to support us, right? The money will come like the on the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. That's what we're doing right now. We're building it. We're putting it out there. We're putting the content out there. We're putting the clothing out there and the ideas out there. Now we just need y'all to get behind it, man, and help us out.
Can I piggyback off of that real quick? That
do your thing.
So everything that you said is right. Reposting is free. Telling a peer is free. All of those things are free. That doesn't cost a dime. But this is the real issue. It's the person within. A person, your best friend, your cousin, your ex, your old homeboy, they know that you're doing something good, but because it's you, they like, nah, I'm not saying anything. So they would rather watch you fall before they tell someone, hey, check out this podcast, check out this merchandise, or check out this website. Because believe it or not, if I refer someone to your website, them clicking on your website is going to show the data. It's going to show that you have a click or someone viewed your website. So the least thing that I can do, if you and I aren't cool or we're not friends, and someone asks me about your product, the least thing that I can say, hey man, go check out their website. You actually may like something on the website. But whether they buy something or not, you're still collecting data. And we all need data, especially if we're trying to look for an investment. So it's really deeper than that. It's really about people taking out the jealousy, taking out the envy. We got to put that to the pride and say, okay, man, regardless of how I feel about this person is actually doing something good. They're actually doing something great, and they're on their way. The least thing that I can do, if I'm not going to support them, I'm going to send them to someone that could potentially support them. If I'm not going to do it, that's still the same, because they might not physically come out of their pocket, but they're still putting you in a position where someone else can support you. The issue with us is we're not going to support you because of our personal issues, and then we're going to tell our friends, or we're not going to tell them anything at all.
Right.
We're just going to let you just
if I ain't gonna support you, and none of my folks go support you. That's how it's gonna be.
Exactly. So that's really one of the issues that we really face.
I'm gonna run this by you then. Can you explain how has being a teacher influenced your role as an entrepreneur?
Oh man, absolutely. So being in education, there's two sides of it. There's the, I love the kids, which every teacher typically says that when they start their professional education, oh, I love the kids. Oh, I used to babysit my little cousin and all of these things. Now, there's the other side that when you're actually inside the classroom, 3 months after the first day of school, when now it's really time to lock in, this is when the entrepreneurship comes in, because in education, there's a curriculum that you must follow. Now, you are programmed to teach that particular curriculum, which is cool because the information is good information. But is that information going to help this student become successful? So for me, as an example, with me being an entrepreneur, I was an entrepreneur before I even started teaching. So a student would see the Never Not Working shirt or the IDECIDE shirt, or they would see me post the books up in the classroom, and then the first thing they say is, "Hey, Mr. Bulladay, I never knew that you was a writer. I never knew that you was an author. I never knew that you had a clothing brand. I never knew that you did X, Y, and Z." So now they're intrigued because they're like, okay, man, if this guy, if he can teach me, and then he also have this side business, or he have these other things going on, man, I want to know how he do that. So and kids they're infatuated with money. Everybody's infatuated with money. So it's easy for me to say, get your education, but also have these other things set in place too, because education, let's be honest, having degrees is cool, but how many people do you know with degrees that's still looking for an employment? Or how many people do you know with a degree that's not even working in their field? You know, so it's almost
matter of fact, Chris, I have family members, they are plumbers. They don't have degrees, but they balling. they making a killing.
So that's exactly what I'm getting at. You don't need a degree to make money. I always tell the students a degree it is needed because it opens up your networking. I would say that it opens up networking. When you go on a college campus, it does allow you to meet more people, but entrepreneurship, that's another form of you putting food on the table too. And that's all you know what I'm saying? So you will never lose if you're investing in you. If you get one sale a day for a week, you had a successful week, because that means every day somebody believed in you enough to invest in you. So you were successful. Yeah. You know, so that's how I look at it. And that's what I push to them. Like, get your education, because you need that, especially us. We need that.
Most definitely.
We need that. And when I mean education, it doesn't have to be a college degree, but be educated, read, understand math, understand science. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like those things, understand the basics, because if you can know the basics, you can teach yourself. You know, teach yourself, and then also learn a trade. We got to learn trades too. That's also a form of entrepreneurship. So yeah, it's a real deal out here.
All right. Now we're talking about business. You were talking about we had a good week and things like they may have a good month. But how can we be consistent with our business? What is the importance of consistency in our business? Like with my thing, I have to make sure I put out a certain amount of videos a week and things like that, and post them and make sure people know about them and things like that. I got to make sure that I have certain colors of shirts. I got the yellows popping, I got the blacks popping, I got the navy popping, I got the blue popping. What is it about consistency that we may or may not understand when it comes to business?
Consistency shows that you believe in yourself. When you're consistent, it shows that you actually take what you're putting out serious enough. It's like I use consistency as a relationship. You meet a young lady, or a young lady meet a male, or whatever, right? Initially, excuse me, sorry about that. Initially,
it happens, man. Go ahead.
You're gonna go hard, right? You're gonna do everything in your power to keep that relationship going, especially when it's fresh. You're gonna go on dates. You're gonna make sure that you text your significant other consistently. You're gonna make sure that you're available. You're gonna make sure that you're giving your best, right? When you put that same energy into your brand, you're going to always go hard in the beginning, because it's new, it's fresh. But then what happens when you don't get a sale that week? What happens when an investment goes extremely bad? What happens when your best friend or someone tells you, man, your brand is garbage? What happens at that point? It's just like a relationship. After the first 3 to 6 months, when she's no longer wearing the makeup, or when you no longer getting haircuts, that's the relationship. Are you going to still put in that same effort, or you just gonna kind of let that slide by. Just like with a brand, you go 2 weeks without getting a sale. That I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh man, I'm gonna get to it when I get my money up." But then that same day, you in a section. Sections are $600 to almost $1,000. You're in the section, but you're saying, "Oh, I get to my brand the next time that I get paid." So what happened is when you get paid, you're still prolonging. After about 2-3 months, you're not even worried about it anymore. You know, so consistency to me, it just shows that you care about your product enough, even when it's at its lowest, you care about it enough because you know eventually there's going to be something big on the other side. My brand didn't start really getting out there until 5 years after I started, which was this year. And I started in 2016 when I was in college, and I stayed consistent even through the worst times. And I'm just now seeing a return.
So what he's telling you all is a lot of times that prolonged gratification may make some people tap out, and that immediate gratification is something we can instantly get. We run for that right there, not knowing that it's going to make our end goal longer and harder to reach. So what you want to do? You want to go ahead and get this $1,000 section immediately, or you want to go ahead and build for the long term when you can buy the building where the $1,000 section is located? What you want to do? All right. With that being said, what are some resources out there for people that want to start a business? I know we have the SBA and things like that, but you know of any other resources for people that want to start businesses?
So for me, I'm going to be honest, people. This is 100% truth. I never even looked out for any resources. Everything that I have done have came from the strength of my own pocket. I was my resource. Now, I was blessed enough to be put in positions where if there was something that I didn't know, it was nothing for me to go on Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter. And I would just personally DM the person who was doing what I wanted to do. And I would just ask them. And sometimes I would even pay just for conversation. Hey, I would pay you, or how much would you charge me? Because I have a few questions that I want to ask you. But for like loans and things like that, I never paid for any loans. The brand was funded from education. And I'm so serious. Half of my checks, if not majority of my checks or all of it, was going to the brand. I would save up just to put it back into the brand. So I always gambled on myself. Because I knew at the end of the day, I wanted full ownership. I want ownership. So if I put up my own money, who's going to take it from me? That's how I look at it. If I lose, which I don't never think that I'm going to lose, but if I lose, then it's not a loss because I still invested in myself. You know, my thing is I pay people. I if there's something that I need, I pay people. Pay them for their service. Build those connections, build those relationships, pay people on time. You pay a person on time, you pay the full amount. You got a relationship right there. At any time. That's the investment. Pay people for their service.
Now y'all heard what he said. If you didn't understand what he said, one of his resources was what? Effort. Effort. He actually tried. Also, he believed in himself. Also, he had something else to supplement or pay for his dream. He didn't just get out there and say, "Hey man, I'm gonna go out there to hope and a prayer." No, he had something solid to fall back on to help invest and grow his business. So you gotta think about things like that as well. Taking a loan may not be the best option when you have a solid resource that you can actually lean back on. All right, next question. What advice do you have for someone that is thinking about starting a business, because sometimes people get afraid. Sometimes they were like, I don't want to do it. Sometimes they were like, well, somebody's already else making t-shirts. And I always tell them, if you're thinking like that, what I need you to do is go 2 places in Walmart. Go to the cold medicine aisle and look at how many different type of cold medicine. Nobody that makes that medicine has said that, well, they are making, somebody that's already making cold medicine. Go, and then from there, go to the water aisle. Nobody there said this other company is already making bottled water. They did it. They made sure they had some support to come up, and the support to come up slowly. And now you have a whole section full of cold medicine, and you have a whole section full of water. So what would you say to anybody, some type of advice for someone that is thinking about starting their own business?
Do it. It's that simple. When people ask me all the time, man, I have all of these different ideas, and I tell them, what are you telling me this for? Right. What are you telling me for?
Right.
So I can steal it? So I can take it from you? You know, when there's a reason why we think the way we think. Everyone has an idea. You know, God isn't going to put an idea in your head for you to not manifest it. Because if it's just in your head, then it's just there. You know, when you think about something, or when something come across your mind, man, you know what? I want to do a podcast. We go to other people because we want their approval. But at the end of the day, does their approval really matter? Because what if I told you, nah, don't do that. Don't even waste your time on it. Then now you're going to be like, I really want to do it, but because my best friend told me I shouldn't do it, I'm just not going to do it. But you're going to always have that conscience in the back of your mind, like, this is something that I really want to do. So I always tell people, try it out. Take the risk. Take it. If it's for you, take the risk, because you're going to learn something from it. If you want to start especially a t-shirt brand, you know how many t-shirt companies are out there? You know how many $1 million t-shirt companies are out there? The brand Gildan. There's a t-shirt brand called Gildan.
They're making a killing.
That's a $1 billion business. And that's a wholesale company. Their thing is, we're going to print you wholesale t-shirts for $1.82, for $2.06. Just blank t-shirts, but that's a $1 billion business. If they can make a $1 billion business selling blank t-shirts, what you think we can do?
Right.
You just got to make the effort, and you just have to be willing to step out there and put the groundwork in.
All right. I'm going to ask you the next thing. What difficulties have you faced in your business ventures? Because people see the outcome. A lot of times they don't see the road it takes to get there. Like when I be doing my podcast, me and Tiff always joke. They see the stuff in front of the camera, but they saw behind the camera and everything that was jacked up, they wouldn't believe.
Right. Man. I've taken more losses than anything. Like, I've taken a lot of losses. And it started off with a good friend of mine. It goes back to the last question. I was telling a good friend of mine in college that I even wanted to start my brand. He looked at me in my face and said, I can't take you serious. Ha ha ha, you're a joke. And I was like, but this is me. I said, what make you say that? My friend literally said, because you're always joking around. So even at that point, I already knew that, okay, I was going to be on the losing end. If somebody who I looked at as a friend of mine tell me that, I already knew, okay, this is what I'm going to be faced with. I've spent hundreds of dollars on t-shirts to people who I thought could print them. They took the money, never gave the t-shirts, never saw them.
Yeah.
I was writing the first book. I had to get myself out of the contract because the contract wasn't beneficial for me. I was on the losing end. So I had to sign myself out of the contract. I had to go self-publish because I wanted to own the book. I didn't want the book to own me. I was told your book isn't going to make you rich. I was told that. And for a minute, I actually believed it. Then I said, wait a second. J.K. Rowling is a whole billionaire out here off of her Harry Potter books.
She bought a castle.
I said, this lady a whole billionaire. J.K. Rowling not colder than me. She don't know my story. Okay, you got Harry Potter, but I got this. I got this IDECIDE for you. So that was my mentality. But when your own people tell you, man, this book not going to make you rich. That's like me telling you, man, your podcast not going to make you rich. What ground do I have to tell you what's not going to make you successful? You know, so I took that saying, it's not going to make me rich. Let me show you. Let me show you something. So 100 copies within the first month.
All right. I'm going to ask you this right here. What motivates you? I know, to me, sometimes competition motivates me. Sometimes I see somebody else, I'm like, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just saying, I know I can do that. I know I can do this right here. I know I'm cold at that. Just like, listen, I was writing a movie script. But the thing about the profession in which we're in, sometimes that time and those time constraints, working at the job and after the job, so it was pretty much, it had knocked me out of finishing my movie script. So now I got to get back on that and go ahead and make that thing pop off, and or turn it into a book as well, which I was told a long time ago, hey man, write it as a book first, and then worry about the movie script. But me being me, I'm like, nah, I'm on the track of writing it as a movie.
Yeah, and then
I went to Second City, did the online writing class for the same cast that Denzel Washington's son went to, all that right there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm writing the script and everything. Yeah. I wrote that junk. Then I went back over and read it. Cause the teacher was telling me, well, you need to start it off like this. I'm like, how you gonna tell me how to start my movie out, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, after like a month, I'm like, he was right. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta go back and retool the beginning of my movie, or if I turn it to a book, and then lay the rest of it out. Later, I got the beginning, got the middle, and the end. But I just gotta put it together, man. Let it form like Voltron.
Right.
But what motivates you?
My family, really. Yeah, my family, and it really started. It really just started growing up like in a single parent household, like just outside of the norm. You know, like I spent a lot of time just watching my mom make sacrifices, like the all the way up until yesterday. You know, I always see my mom make sacrifices, and she makes sacrifices for her kids, my brother and I. And so just me growing up and seeing those sacrifices, I always told myself, man, if I put myself in the right position, I don't want to see my mama have to make them kind of sacrifices anymore. You know, going from one side of town to get me to school, come back, take my brother to daycare, then call, check up on me, make sure they made it on the bus to get to school, then come back home, and she got to come in, she got to cook, then put him to sleep, and then she got to get back up and do it all over again, you know. And then in the midst of that, you still got bills. You know, I've seen the struggles of just not being able to sometimes make that month, or I can't really catch that bill right now. So we might have to go without for a few days, but I'm going to get it. So I always take that, I'm going to get it, and I apply that to me. So I got to get it. There's no other choice for me. There's no other choice. I got to go out and get it because I saw my mom go out and get it. And I'm 28 years old. I done seen her from day one all the way into yesterday going out and get it. So this is personal for me because we struggle too much. It's time to get it now. I have to. So that's my thing. That's what
I heard that. And basically what he said is, what you gonna do? You go barbecue or you go meal do? You go make it happen, or you go sit to the side and you gonna sit to the side and fall short. Yeah. What you gonna do, man? I was a pimp some hoes down with one of my favorite movies back in the day. Yeah. But that's neither here. That's neither here nor there. All right, now. Yeah. Y'all heard him say he's a writer. Why do you write though? I mean, like, why do you write?
So, oh man, this one deep. All right, so what really started me into like the writing scene was when I graduated from high school. I went to a junior college before my university, and so as I applied for the application, I got accepted, but they required you to take a placement exam, right? And so that placement exam determines what courses you take your freshman year. So I felt that I was always a good writer, but I guess that the score, I was supposed to score a certain amount in order to be placed in like the credited college courses. Unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. So they put me in what they call remedial courses. So I'm at a junior college. I'm taking remedial courses my first 2 years. So it actually put me behind because I'm taking all of these classes that didn't count. But majority of the classes that I were taking were in reading and writing. Now, I feel like there was a system in place because it's like, okay, you take one remedial course, then you pass that course, they put you in another remedial course, you pass that course, you have to take 3 remedial reading and writing courses before they actually put you in English 1301. You have to take 3 remedial courses.
Man.
And check this out though. They tell you at the beginning of every of those remedial courses, you have to take this test. You have to score a certain number. Bruh, every time I passed, every single time, you know what they told me? Oh, the classes are full. The registration for those 1301 classes are full. So you would have to try again the next semester. They did me like that. So I'm like, man, so the first 2 years I spent taking these writing courses, and believe it or not, I hated those writing courses, but it actually helped me. And so once I got out of the remedial courses, I wrote so much because that's all we did. Writing just naturally became something that I was good at. And two, I just really got tired of talking to people. So I started to write how I feel. I would write different quotes. I would get on Instagram and write different posts of just how I was feeling that day. Just pretty much affirmations to myself. But I was just putting it on social media, not knowing that 4 or 5 years later, I'm going to be an author. This was just something that I was just doing because it was natural. But for me now, writing is therapeutic.
Okay.
So to answer your question, overall it's therapeutic.
All right. Now, y'all heard that he said writing for him is therapeutic. Now, you know, a lot of times we have a lot of things balled up inside of us, and we can let them snap, crackle, and pop. Some people explode, right? Some people implode. Get it out. I'm not saying a therapist for some people. Some people are afraid of therapy, but you can find an outlet for everything that you have balled up. A positive outlet, a positive outlet. Don't get on here and say, well, MoonDog told me to go out there. Nah, I ain't tell you to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer in the description. Find a positive outlet for some of those things that you have bottled up. Hey, man, believe me, it helps, right? This right here, like the podcast and the show that me and Tiff got, y'all that white, we have a ball. So it helps me think of some of the positive things that is going on in the world. If you watch the news all day, you'll be depressed.
Right.
All right. What are some of your immediate goals for your business?
Immediate goals, like something that I would want to see like tomorrow.
Matter of fact, 12:01 tonight.
And if an immediate goal is a sale, you know,
Okay.
that's if anything, you know, that's a goal. You know, I want to get it a sale a day, or I want to
All
get
right.
5 sales a day, or I want to get 10
Right.
sales a day.
Now, y'all already know the MoonDog38732 show. Everybody I don't think you're talking about myself in the third person. Every person that I interview, I always support their business. I already hit them up for one of them junks. I'm waiting for the other 2 junks, and I'm gonna get them other 2 junks too. So I'm already putting it out there. I'm letting him know. We already talked about it off camera. Now I'm putting it on camera. I got another shirt coming from another cat. That's what I do. And once again, I am broke. Y'all know my profession, but I have a budget that I set aside every time I get paid to support people. Now,
And
here we go.
That's going to come back to you.
What is your ultimate goal for your business?
Man, the ultimate goal is actually to get the brand in a position to where, man, my brothers and sisters can run it, really, and I can start focusing on something else. So I initially, man, I never did this for me. IDECIDE was never for me. You know, I just wanted to be the foundation. I wanted to set the foundation for something that's actually bigger than myself. So I don't want them to graduate from college and then have to go through the struggles of finding a job, or go through the struggles of interviewing for a job where a person tells them, oh, you're not qualified. You know, I want them to be able to be in a position to where they could graduate from college, have the degree if that's what they want to do, and then they're running the business, because we have to learn to be able to pass things down. You know, when we die, a lot of the times, and this doesn't apply to all of us, but I find it very common within our culture, man. The only thing that we have to pass down is shoes, clothes, jewelry, a little bit of cash, and then that's it. You know, you're going to outgrow the shoes. You're going to outgrow your big brother clothes or your big sister clothes. You're going to probably sell a car down the line, you know, but a business is something that could be a generation, like Creed, you know, all of these big businesses. Like, I didn't even know that the founder of Hennessy, he passed down. His grandson wanted to start a business, but his grandson wasn't really into alcohol, so he started a fragrance business, which is called Killian. The person who's over Killian is the grandson of Hennessy. You get what I'm saying? So even though it's not the same business, it's still that business mindset. So the way I look at it, even if I don't have any kids now, but even if my future kids and my siblings, even if they want to be able to adventure off and do their own thing, I still want the brand to be a set foundation for them to be able to fund what they want to do financially.
Gotcha. Now, yeah, you know how people are. Oh man, Christopher is cool. He does this, he does that. But why should we listen to him? Why shouldn't we listen to somebody that's already online? Why shouldn't we listen to a celebrity? Why should people listen to you and what you have to say?
So for the celebrities, this is what I have to say. Man, them people don't know you. Them people don't know you. You know, we listen to celebrities, and we listen to people with blue checks, and we listen to people with 14,000 followers, 15,000 followers, because they have a large following base. But in all actuality, a lot of those people, not all of those people, but a lot of those people are really assholes. If we gonna keep it a book, a lot of those people are not good people. One of the reasons why people listen to me is because I listen to people. When people talk to me, I actually listen, and then I learn to give an answer, but it takes me to listen first. And so I give in, I take in, or I do what I want people to do for me, if that makes sense. You know, so if I want people to listen to me, then I have to listen to other people and be able to really fully engage in what they're talking about. And that was actually something that I learned through failed relationships and stuff, not listening and things like that.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success is actually going through the process. You know, my definition of success isn't let me
making it rain.
Let me make it
showing
rain.
Off.
Let me go get that. Let me go get that Duce. That's not my definition of success. My definition of success, it doesn't even have to do anything with money. My definition of success is taking something out the mud, whether it's a vision, whether it's a goal, whether it's a dream, taking it out the mud and manifesting in it, going through that process, loving your process, embracing the process, you know, understanding that in order to get where you want to be, you got to go through some failures. I always apply it to relationships because that's the most relatable thing. In a relationship, in order for you to get to that point where you get on your knee and say, I do, or will you marry me? You have to go through a process. Once you the ring, that's success. But the process of it is you're going to go through arguments. You may go through infidelity. You may go through financial issues. There's going to be certain circumstances and obstacles that's going to be placed in your life, in your relationship, in your brand, in your faith, in your mental, in your job. There's going to be obstacles placed in everybody's life. If you can, what we call in my classroom, we call finessing, if you can finesse through those obstacles and overcome that, man, you're successful. And it doesn't even have to do with anything with money. It's just really getting through those tunnels. If you can make it through those tunnels, you're successful.
Hey, there you go. He broke it. He broke it all the way down. He knocked everything out. If y'all don't get it, rewind it, watch it again, listen to him again, and this time pay attention to what he's really telling y'all. He just gave y'all, like the other podcast, give the kids them $1 million worth of game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to put forth that effort, that time, believe in yourself, and invest in yourself. But before we shut this thing down, Chris, how can people reach you? Social media, email, what? How can people reach you if they need to talk to you tonight about business and or sales?
Well, you can reach me on all social media platforms at IDECIDE.co, or you can reach me on my personal Instagram at Mr_C Butler713. And if you want to email me, you can email me at IDECIDEclothing@gmail.com.
All right, y'all heard that now. He talking about Christopher Butler, not Chad Butler. That's a whole different set of butlers. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, man, Chris, man, we appreciate you. Anything else you want to get the audience before we shut this thing down?
Man, I just want to personally say thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. You know, there's not really a lot of people that give opportunities like that. So if anything, I want to say thank you, you know, and to the people out there, whoever is watching, if you have a dream, right? If you have a dream, it's only a dream until you manifest it. And that's real. So if there's something that you want to do today, like right now, like if you're watching this video, like right now, you have to remember the possibility of you not waking up tomorrow is there. So you really have to start putting yourself in a position that you want to be in. Like today, we don't have tomorrow to wait. We don't have next week to wait. If you want to start your own clothing brand, it's nothing for you to go on Google and type in how to start a clothing brand. Or there's nothing wrong with you going to the Nike store and talking to the manager, talking to the general manager, picking their brain, and then seeing how can you get to Phil Knight. There's nothing wrong with you calling these designer companies if you want to start a designer brand and say, hey, man, this is what I want to do. How do I do that? That's free. Picking up the phone, calling the person that you want to that you look up to, or the position that you want to be in. That's free. You know, there's nothing. And then here's another thing too. There's this new trend is, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 because 9 to 5 sucks. I'm going to be the first to tell you, a 9 to 5 does not suck. What a 9 to 5 does is it gives you stability. Whatever you make, that's what you're able to live off of. Now, if you have some room within your budget, whether it's 5%, 10%, maybe even 3%, if that's what you have to invest in yourself, don't take that as a loss. Because what happens is that 5%, if that grows over time, you'll find yourself having the money that you need to invest in yourself. $1,000 to start a business, that'll take you where you need to be. And then all you do is just keep reinvesting in it off that 5% that you've been saving for a year or however long it takes. It's not a rush. But the social media have you thinking, oh, I got to get it right now. Your girl will have you thinking, I got to get it right now. Your dude will have you thinking, I got to get it right now. It's not a rush. Take your time, but be productive while you're doing it, because you don't want to miss any steps. Love your process. Embrace the process, because eventually when you look back, you're going to be able to say, man, I did this. This is how I did it. And this is where I got to when I got to where I want to be. But outside of that, thank you. Love y'all.
Also, we got to thank Tiffany DJ for making the introduction. She's the one that introduced me to the IDECIDE brand and to Christopher. So, Tiff, we're going to start recording again soon. You already know what we got to do. We got to talk. So, I'm going to holler at you later. Hey, with that being said, man, it's the MoonDog38732 show. MoonDog38732 show podcast.com and YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit me up. Hook me up. I'm going to get ready to edit this junk, add a little oomph to it. I'm going to upload that junk. I'm going to send that junk to them, and I'm going to let them know what the business is. Man, with that being said, man, I'm out.